Good evening. The time is 9:03 p.m. EST. I'm gonna be doing my typical Saturday night programming crap because I gotta do it. Actually, in this one, I don't gotta do it. This is when I want to do it because it is deemed best practices. But strictly speaking, I don't have to do anything I'm about to be doing. So, for a little bit of context, let's see. Let me use my first. Let me put on some music. There we go. And let me hotkey it up with dev. Boom. Oh, that's already showing browser. Duh. I'm like, where is it? Okay. So, in Discord these days, there's this new function of Discord for bots called the slash command. You might be on a server that has something that does this. I think Twitch also basically uses the same kind of standard for this. And instead of just having bots read all messages that go through Discord and grappling onto the ones that are, shall we say, relevant, like finding messages that have a magic command keyword in them, Discord set up this alternate pipeline to feed messages directly to the bot instead of having it be a typed message. It's a slash command. You start with the slash, you type the command name, and then it will prompt you for the arguments because it knows ahead of time that this is actually a command rather than the bot figuring it out after you've already posted the message. This is, I would say, good. This is a logical way to handle executing arbitrary commands for a bot on a chat protocol server. The problem is they figured this out now and not like 3 years ago when Discord took off. And so it's a massively breaking change because every bot ever made has been configured to read prompts and figure out what to do with them via text. To, I guess, twist the knife, Discord has said that it is going to become mandatory, I believe this month, for all bots to migrate to this pattern with little to no support because they are going to remove the ability for bots to read message content unless you are verified. You can only apply for verification if your bot is in over 75 but less than 100 servers. So that brings us to here. Fortunately, my bot is in one server, and I guess two because I've got my test server for it. And it will, as such, not be subject to this new imposition because it's small enough. It is deemed not a safety threat that it can read messages. But generally speaking, Discord wants to disallow bots to have the message intent for their ability to read messages. So if your bot's sufficiently large and you don't migrate to this pattern, it will become completely useless. Oh, hello, Izzy. Thank you for stopping by tonight. I enjoyed what I saw from Silent Hill earlier today, and as always, I am just completely enamored by your tech setup and how you've got everything wired. I think it's very cool. Hello. Also, when you signed off and you said MS DOS Badania, I was like, she said the thing. I thought it was cool. But I digress. So anyway, in general, I think this slash command business is good. It makes sense as a way to do makes sense as a way to do command processing. Yeah, no, you're fine. You have a one server Discord. You should be fine. It's for big bots is what it has a problem with. They say it's because it's like a privacy issue, where like your bot can just read every message ever posted in a Discord, and I don't know, pipe it to somewhere unsavory potentially. And I guess they're right. Like it's hard to argue against that, but the frustrating part is that they're offering basically no support for people to actually update their bots. There's no grandfathering in this case, so if there are bots that are not actively being developed anymore, they will simply die when this becomes a mandatory change. But I'm not in that position where I have to do this because currently my bot is not being used in many places, but I want to learn how to do it because it seems neat, and I think it actually makes using the commands as a user easier or better. Notably, I'll scroll down here. There's the arguments for these types of commands are like you register ahead of time. So when you type in the command, you know what it's going to be. I harvested someone's whole Discord history, feed into a Markov chain. Yeah, so that's an extreme example, right? And fortunately you did something silly with it instead of malicious, but who knows, you could have siphoned off what they thought was confidential info in a small private server. But, you know, this music bot that you have, somebody who's a nefarious developer wrote in a little backdoor command to it, and now it can fetch the history of everybody who's got a music bot in their server. And they thought they were just talking to their friends on this two-person server with the music bot, but now the music bot knows everything they've said. So, it's hard to argue. I don't think that they're in principle wrong. I just think they're going about enforcing it the wrong way because developers are going to be hung out to dry. It really shifts the onus on developers for doing the only thing they could have done this entire time. But anyway, so yeah, commands, you register them ahead of time. You do a post to a HTTP endpoint, and you say, here are all the commands that this bot is going to use. And it registers there, it propagates out to servers, and you can, as part of that, include your arguments, which previously were just like typically space separated in the string that it was reading from a message, and it can enforce type safety. So for example, this argument option is a string, so it wants text. Very simple, but there are option types. You can have like an integer, a number, a boolean, and crucially, I think these are really useful, a user, a channel, a role, or anything else that is mentionable. This is really good for my particular use because I have many commands that are like, where should I pipe incoming messages to? It should be a channel ID, but there's nothing that actually forces the user to make a channel ID, and I have to have code in my bot that checks to see if this channel can be found before it accepts the command. But here, you would have safety rails on to suggest that the user input one of the channels on their server by providing them a nice little dropdown and doing autofill. So it's good. It makes sense. I'm just not looking forward to having to convert all of the stuff I've already written to doing that. But enough about that. Let's begin, I suppose. Web dev, show VS Code. Actually, no. Hide VS Code. First thing I think I need to do is I have to build the thing to register these commands. As I mentioned, you do a REST call and you post it to the Discord super server, wherever that is. Let Discord know ahead of time these are the types of commands you're going to run. So I got to write the code that will do that for me. Let's see. So I think I'm just going to copy this whole cloth to start with. There's going to be a lot of changes. I don't like that it requires me to specify my client ID, because I don't think that should be in version control. That'll be in my env file, I guess. I should have put that in my env file ahead of the stream. I don't actually know if that's confidential information. I don't really want to find out. Let's do npm install. Hell yeah! 69 vulnerabilities found, 58 moderate, 11 high. Nice! Yeah, let's not have 69 nice vulnerabilities. npm audit fix. Please. Fixed 53 of 69 vulnerabilities and 771 scanned packages. Web development really is hell. One package update for 16 vulnerabilities involved breaking changes. I wish I knew what those were. So if I do npm audit now, how bad is it? I don't like that. That really kind of sours my whole mood, because I was just talking about, like, oh, this is super... let me make my terminal bigger also, I guess, because it's really small and hard for you guys to see. There we go. Sours my mood, because I was just talking about how this is like a good thing for privacy and security. Wait, what is this even a breaking change for? That's the other thing about npm vulnerabilities, is sometimes they're actually just not relevant. How does it know it's a breaking change? Is it breaking something that I'm actually using? Probably not. Yeah, fuck it. npm audit dash force. Let's go. Wait, no, Oh. Yikes. I sure hope you know what you are doing, it says when I do the force command. That's fun. That makes me feel really confident and safe. "26 of 26 vulnerabilities fixed." What could possibly go? I mean, I'm on a branch, right? So if I fuck it up, I just switch the branch. Hey, Foodabus. Thank you for the follow earlier today, by the way. When I was setting up my stream and I had OBS open, it played the little notification noise that somebody had followed, and I was utterly shocked because I was not streaming at the time, but I did get it. Thank you. Welcome to the Skeleton crew. Your voluntary conscription in the Skeleton Army will be of great importance during the Skeleton War, so thank you very much. That's a cute Vaporeon emote, also, as an aside. Okay, so now if I run npm run test, does my code still run at all? Or is it just like, nah? Let's find out. Now that I've done my potentially breaking changes. Cool, okay, my stuff still runs. So I assume this means I'm good, because my code coverage is not great, but it's better than nothing, and it mostly checks that my workflow is valid. I'm precariously close to 69% file coverage of all statements, so maybe we'll get there. We're only going to make it worse tonight, because I'm probably not going to write unit tests on stream, because that shit's real boring. What am I going to do first? So, let's hide terminal. Okay. So I needed to do those installs because I need the REST client that they recommend, and this routes thing. My token is in my app config. So let's make a new script outside here. Let me show VS Code. We're going to make a new file. New file. Let me click on the folder, you fucking terrible ID. New file. This is gonna be /.command register.js. Cool. Const app config equals. Oh, let me turn up the font size also. This will make it really miserable for me, but it will make it better for you, the viewer, which is, you know, the most important thing. 22. I live to please. Better. Equals require app config. I know it's right there. What the fuck? Don't lie to me. Oh, wait. Do I have to do, like... There we go. Dumb. Cool, okay. Cool, I'm gonna need that, because that's basically my env file wrapper. It's my dependency injection method here. What else did it say I was gonna need? I wish I could do, like, picture-in-picture for the web browser, so you could see what I'm, like, copying and pasting from wherever, but it's actually not that exciting, and also it'd be like really hard to read. I still haven't figured out a good workflow for web dev and streaming it at the same time. This I'm going to need these things, which seem to resolve properly. I don't need token or file system. I don't need the this, that, and the other thing. Okay. Client ID is a to-do right now. I'm gonna have to hide my stream while I go fetch that off of the actual developer portal, because I don't want to let you see that. Do you think someone could learn how to program without going to college for that? Yes, absolutely. It's never been a better time to be in the information age. I think the most valuable thing I got out of going to college for being a giant nerd was being around people who were similarly motivated. But I don't think I learned anything like so critical that I needed to have gone to college to learn that skill. My greatest takeaway from the collegiate experience was meeting people who also wanted to learn the thing, right? And that's super valuable, and that definitely helps, like, push you, and you can, talk about ideas and things like that. But in terms of like actual hard skills, I don't actually think my programming classes taught me how to program at all. They taught me how to be a better teammate, I think, and that's really the long and short of it. To answer your question, Foodabus, I think that's accurate. I mean, of course, I'm definitely looking back with some level of rose-tinted glasses. I'm sure there was stuff that I actually learned from doing assignments or reading a textbook, but I don't think you need to go to college to learn how to program at all. But that's, also anecdotal. I did go to college to learn how to program, so I'm probably a bad person to ask. But most of, I think, what I learned was from projects that I did outside of class because I met people who got me excited about doing them, and not so much from the assignments or the homework or anything like that. That was all kind of incidental. I definitely know we have other techie type people in the chat. Like I know Bon, you went to college for being a giant nerd, and I don't know if Isby has any collegiate accreditations, but I know that she's also a giant nerd. So maybe she can speak to it as well, either of you. If you'd be so kind. I'm not going to put you on the spot. If you got nothing to say, then don't worry about it. But I am interested in differing perspectives, because it's difficult for me to answer as somebody who has gone to college for that, whether or not I thought it was necessary. Okay, so my guild token here, let me go get that. That's not a secret. That I can get easily. Copy ID. My guild ID is actually that. I too mostly learned how to work in teams. I think that's like the most important thing about college is the social aspect. I wasn't expecting to be so similar to fine arts. I learned a lot on the psychological side of art and how to think about art. The manual, I think I've learned more. Oh, lots of walls of text happening, but it's good discussion. So Foodabus says, oh dang, wasn't expecting to be so similar to fine arts then. I learned a lot on the psychological side of art, on how to think about art, but manually I think I've learned more by myself than there. And Isby says, I did college and feel quite similarly that it was not a required experience for programming. I have a friend who is a dropout and has had better jobs than me in software engineering. LOL. Yeah, so I think that's kind of, we're all thinking the same thing then, which is good. It means that I'm not crazy or having a way out of norm experience. As always, yeah, I don't know where I was going with yeah, as always. But doing the work is always better than doing the homework, right? I definitely know when I was in college, a lot of folks would go to class, they'd take their notes, they'd do the homework, and they'd go to sleep, and I'd wake up and do it the next day, and they're kind of just going through the motions, right? Do you recommend somewhere to start learning about programming? Any particular video or book? See, that's difficult, because I don't think I've ever used, like, a video tutorial to, like, quote, learn how to program. I've typically been like, huh, there's a problem I want to solve. How can I accomplish this task? And so you start with something small, right? Like, you want to automate some kind of process on your computer, right? Like, you've got a bunch of photos you've downloaded from your phone, and you want to sort them into folders based on the month that they were taken or something like that. So you've got this big folder of photos that you just dumped off of your phone's hard drive before you trade in your phone for a new one or whatever, and you need to organize them. So maybe you write like a batch script, and you learn how to write something in your command shell in that language, and you learn how to have it iterate over all over all of the photo files, and look at the EXIF information to find the date, and then you can have it make a directory for each new date that it finds, and then wow, you've solved a problem in like a little single file, and now you've learned something. And then the next time you want to do it, it's okay, it's more specific than dates. I also want to organize them by average color hue. So you write a script that iterates over every file, and sorts them based on the sum average of all the pixel data, and you learn how to interpolate things like that. And so you basically just keep building on these, what you've learned previously, to solve increasingly more complex or maybe asinine problems. And that's generally how I go about it. I didn't just like wake up one day and be like, it's time for me to learn Java. Let me write Java. It's okay, I want to do something. How can I use Java to solve that problem? Yeah, I think that's my advice. I'll go with that, yeah. I don't have a better answer. If you want to learn programming and you want a fun problem that you didn't have before, if you can't think of anything practical, look for a game jam that's happening. The website itch.io has a list of community-run game jams, and there the problem is essentially, I would like to make a fun video game. So you can use that prompt to learn how to write in pretty much any language. You can use like Godot, which I think is its own scripting language. You can try and make a web browser game, which would use JavaScript like what I'm doing right now. The Unity engine uses C#. Unreal uses C++. And you can take that as your problem prompt and learn how to do basic shit like that. My first game jam is great, yeah. That's the name of a game jam, not Bond specifically referring to the first game jam that she ever participated in. But it is the name of a game jam called My First Game Jam. I believe that also offers mentorship, I think. I haven't really participated in it because it is squarely for beginners, which I'm decidedly not anymore. But, yeah, that's a good resource as well. What am I doing here? Okay, so this is a function that we run. I'm not sure why it's in parentheses, but I guess that just means when you run the script, it runs the function. Thank you, Tom. Itch.io, not it. Itch like you've got a scratch. Itch.io. They're a great DRM-free games platform as well. You can just buy shit from them and then you have it. Unlike Steam, where you technically are paying for a license for it, and that could be rescinded at any time. This you can just straight up download and launch whenever. They're a very good indie storefront, and I wish them all the best. And they also organize game jams. Itch.io. Okay, so we've got our function here. It's going to do a try catch, where we use our REST client here to put. Oh, it's a put request? Who the fuck uses a put request? What the fuck? That's almost as like asinine as the patch request. Okay, whatever. Discord share. You've used put and patch? What the fuck is wrong with you? Just use post like a normal human being. This makes no sense. Whatever. Whatever. I'm glad there's a guide for it, because I would never arrive at that conclusion myself. So this is for routes, application guild commands. Okay, there are also two ways you can upload these slash commands to the main Discord HQ, right? You can either do application commands, which only takes in the client ID of your bot, and not the second parameter. And that will make it for all servers everywhere the bot is, and it takes a long-ass time to propagate to every server, right? Or you can use this guild commands, which we're doing for debugging here, which is just for the guild that you specifically mentioned, and it should happen instantly. Hey guys, what are you doing? Let's see, this person's username is easy peasy lemon squeezy 42. I am writing JavaScript to make a Discord bot to help with the live translation and timestamping of a streamer's streams that we particularly enjoy, because she is on a platform that has no developer API and no official support. So that's what I'm up to. Today I am modernizing it to be in compliance with best practices for Discord's latest and greatest machinations. Cool. I'm glad you think so. I'm glad you think it's cool. Thank you for stopping by the way. Easy peasy lemon squeezy 42. Let's see, so this is gonna send Discord HQ that I want to register commands, and then I have to figure out what they actually want as the body here. The body to send to this request. Awesome. In the docs, I think it's a list of JSON structures. I think you can convert the slash command builder thing into a JSON. I'll get to that later. We've got this here for now, which is fine. I've got my guild ID, client ID is going to have to be, this is going to be app config get, no, it's Discord bot token. So that's dependency injected. Let me do that as well for my client ID, I guess. I didn't think I was going to need to do that. Yeah, so this is my big, like, central dependency injection class. I pass this in basically to every argument that I have, or every function that I have, and then I can use it as dependency injection for tests and things like that. I can spoof the returns of any of these get functions here, and have it be something like that will do a mock response without actually needing to do a web request. So like all these clients, I can mock in my unit tests. It's a very helpful design pattern. But I need to do Discord bot client ID, and that's going to be env Discord bot ID in my env file that I will need to temporarily hide my stream for, because I do not want to show that value on stream. I think it's supposed to be a secret. So I'll get to that, but for the meantime, I can do client ID is equal to app config Discord. Okay, it's right there. String. Okay, no, this is a string. Cool. Alright, so we've got that. Okay, this is probably fine. I'll have to come back to what commands is supposed to be in a bit. Sure, that's great. Okay, so now let's actually try and modernize a command. That's going to be the miserable part. That's why I'm in for hell. So, right now I've got... Let's look at the help command. It's pretty straightforward. I think it takes up the least amount of real estate on my screen. I've got this command. Actually, let's look at the command structure. For the class that is command. It is very straightforward. I have a list of strings that are the current aliases that you can use. This is how it identifies that what you're trying to type is a command. It looks if your message leads with a prefix and one of these aliases, and it matches it. It has a permission level to check the message poster against. It has a function to do. It has some summary of like what this is all about, high-level summary, and a list of tooltips for all the different ways you can use it. Very, very, very straightforward. The one weird thing about how they've implemented these slash commands, now I understand why they've done it, because I implemented something similar for buttons recently, is that they are what are called interactions. And that is that instead of having a direct link from the interaction to the function it does, you need to manually listen for that in a separate way. I'm explaining it very poorly. It'll make more sense when I actually type it. But basically, there's no direct link between... Let me show on the library here again. When we build our slash command like this, right? We have our new slash command builder. We set our name and description and what have you. No part of this actually specifies what this slash command does. All this does is generate, I guess, a JSON file that you post in the REST request that we just saw, the put request. Sorry, you don't post it, you put it. You put it with the REST client, and that lets Discord know that this is a command. It has no idea what happens when you run this command, but what it will do is it will fire off an interaction event to the bot that is that you have, and if you're listening for a request of the same name, then you're all set and you know what to do. So that's why this like set name function is important. I don't know how to go about setting different aliases for it. I don't know if that's still supported, or if I will need to basically make a lot of different commands that are all essentially the same. So we're going to start small. Let's get started. So I've got my folder commands here in VS Code. I don't really want to mess up the code that I currently have. Even though I'm on version control, I realize it's a very cowardly thing to say. I kind of want to just make a new folder for slash commands, because I think they're going to be slightly different. Mostly the same. I need to find some way to define both the callback, like what I have right now, and the JSON implementation of the commands that I need to upload like in the same place. And I think I can do that all in a similar way to the command file here, but I don't want to break everything all at once because I'm a big coward. So we're gonna do engine, new folder, slash. We're just gonna call it slash. Hopefully that doesn't mess with anything. New file. This is going to be flash.command.js. And we're gonna start by directly copying the... Oh, actually, wait, no. This doesn't go here. This is in my models folder. Do I want to move it? Yes. I've got a definition for what a command looks like. And I'm gonna copy this basically wholesale into this slash command file. Another thing worth mentioning that I'm trying to do with how I set this bot up is have it be as decoupled from Discord as possible, because I really hate programming stuff very close to the metal like that, and if they change their library, it makes it like having to pull all the wires out. So I don't want to do that, so I'd like to keep it as abstracted away from that as possible. So we've got our class slash command, I guess. This is going to be interaction. Oh, hold on, actually. Interaction. 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 None of this is necessary writing these type defs. I'm doing it because it helps with the IDE, because I'm not using TypeScript, because I hate myself. Module exports command is slash command. But generally speaking, I think it's the right way to do things. This is probably going to go away. I don't think I can do that anymore. That was for being able to execute slash commands remotely. I don't think I can do that, because I don't think I can spoof interactions like I could spoof messages. So that's just going to go away. But that's okay. So now we've got permission level. I think that can stay. Aliases. I don't know if that can stay. Command callback is good. We're going to need at param. This is where it's going to get kind of glued together with Discord. Oops, nope. There we go, slash command builder. I'm going to have a field here that is a slash command builder. We're going to call this... what are we going to call this? I'm not sure. I don't know what a good parameter name for this is. I guess this is just builder? That's fine. And so that way we can define the structure of the slash... Why is this not linked? Also. Did I spell interaction wrong? No, it seems to get it. Okay, there we go. Which seems to save. We can specify the builder in line with what the callback is. So we can define the callback and the thing that we need to post in one place. When we boot up our app, we can iterate over every command, register them as things to listen for, while simultaneously putting them on the Discord main server, and we'll be all set. We just have to iterate through all these files as we're currently doing. So I think that's good. I don't know that we'll still use aliases, depending on how this shakes out. Builder. Nope. Okay, so that's fun. Let's try our best. New file. I guess I'm not going to try and copy one of the things I've already got. I just need to figure out how to make slash commands at all, right? So this will be babies. No, I can't do. What am I? Babies first slash command. first dot slash dot command dot js. So this is going to be much like how I've got my other commands here. We're gonna do this first slash command. This is going to be slash command from slash dot command. All of my commands follow the spec so that I can pass in the app config. As I mentioned, it's like dependency injection. So we're all good there. And so this will be return new slash command. And we can just do everything in the constructor because I'm crazy. And I think that's the right way to do things. I don't have a better plan. I think that's how I do it elsewhere. Like in my help command, we just return a new command here. So first thing would be aliases. I don't know if these will actually matter. We're just going to go with first for now. Next one is permission level of 1, which means that any user can use it. These are all enums that correspond to a different permissions list that I can check. The trick is going to be getting the... No, actually, no. Actually, this will work. I've got a plan. Next up is the actual callback, I think. Yeah, okay, so that's async. What are the arguments here? Interaction. I think. What is, okay, interaction, string arguments. I think this goes away, actually. I don't think that exists anymore. I think it just returns promise? I'm not sure, because the arguments are part of the interaction now. So they don't need to be a separate parameter. So I think it's just interaction, and just returns a promise. So I think it's just interaction. Like that. Like that. And then we do new. Nope. Time to copy from a website again. Okay. So now, oh, I don't new twice. So now we have the next argument here is we're making a slash command builder. I think all of these just return slash command builder. Oh, I need to import that also. Kind of annoying, kind of unseemly. I hate importing stuff in JavaScript. It feels bad. But I think it's necessary here. I don't like that it bleeds into the code though. I might figure out a way to try and abstract this a little bit. We have our slash command builder. I think that's correct. Do I need to like do .build or something? I don't know. I think that's correct. Not sure. I'm actually not sure what happens with this return type. Do I need to like cache it somewhere? I bet I do. I bet this isn't actually valid. I bet I can't just do it inline like this, because it's going to try and do the return type whatever the last thing you do to it is. That's annoying. Can I do... Ah! There we go. That's what I wanted. To JSON. Cool, okay. So let's update the spec here. Does not return of type slash command builder. It is of type object, I guess. And it's not a builder. It is JSON. All lowercase, because that's how it works. JSON. This is the JSON. JSON representation of the command. So we call that JSON. 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 And so that's the pattern I'm going to need to follow. Is, in my command here, we do whatever we need to have. And then, yeah, okay. And then it'll 2JSON at the very end of it, and we just return that, I think, is what we want to do. And then next up is the summary, baby's first command. Thank you for not having to escape your apostrophes, JavaScript. And then it will be an array of new tip A B. I don't have anything useful to put here. Doesn't actually matter. And we return that. Okay, so that's a start. So now I need to do something with this. We're going to have module.exports.first command equals command. Oh, actually, I think I just want module.exports. How do I do it elsewhere? As always, let me refer to what I've already done. Nope, it is named. Okay. So that is .first command, like so. Alright. Now we're going to do new file /.commands JS. So for everything else, I have a giant array of all the commands that you run, because that way I can add things pretty straightforwardly. Straightly forward, I'm not sure what the correct way to phrase that is. And then my bot will just iterate over the returned array from this list and know every command that it has in its repertoire. I'm going to repeat that pattern here, except now instead of type array of commands, it is /commands, list of those. None of these exist anymore. Pretend that they don't exist. We're going to use app-config once again, like so. Don't think we need the help tip. And we're going to start importing. We're going to do const first command. Like such. Then we can do first command big, like so. Now, here I've got my list of commands, and I need to register them with the bot. Where do I do that? Events, I think. Ugh. Where do I put this? Message create is going away. It is now interaction create. Okay. So the good news about this interaction business, which is the new standard for how Discord processes things that are, I guess, as it says, interactions, rather than being messages, is I already kind of handled part of this when I tried to implement buttons on one of my existing normal commands, which is a thing you can do with Discord bots. You can actually have them embed interactable buttons into their messages, which is very helpful. So I needed something that let people adjust timestamps forward and backward. So I had buttons. So to that end, I kind of know a little bit about how these work. As I've got a note here, it checks if the interaction is from a button. If it is, it checks buttons, and it finds the corresponding one. Otherwise, it does something else. And that's going to work out just fine here, actually. I thought about this clearly, and I'm actually very smart. Okay. Get entry permissions level. Interaction member, role ops. Yes. Okay, that's good. That's still good. Let me go to my app config. Now we're going to have commands. And now they're going to be called /commands. slash commands. Perfect. We love that. In command here. Now I will do, instead of this undefined, appconfig dot slash commands, appconfig, pass itself in, find b, wait, what is b in this case? Interaction custom ID to lowercase. I'm not sure that will be the right thing to search on, but maybe. That's correct. B.aliases includes. I don't think I want this to be continued to be named button, but we can fix that. So what I have here is when the bot receives the interaction event, as I was talking about, it's an event that's fired off. We get the name off of the interaction. We check to see what the role of the interaction user is, the person who made the interaction. If it's a button, we look up our list of responses to buttons. If it's not a button, we check the list of slash commands. If we have anything after we do that, we check the permissions as we would do, and then we execute the callback with the interaction. Why does it think? What does this think this is? Callback. Ah, okay. And if nothing happens, do nothing because it returns a void. Catch an error. So that should be good. Now I need to console.log button. I'm curious if this will do anything for the actual registered slash command. So I don't know that custom ID is the correct thing to check for, but we'll get there. We will get there. So that's well and good. I am going to hide VS Code for a second. I need to go grab my actual bot ID, client ID. So let me go do that. Discord developer portal. Applications. Oh my god. It's being annoying because I'm logged in as a different user on my other browser page for Discord so that I don't show all of my servers. Hold on, I need to log out and log back in. Pain in the ass. No. Discord, developer, portal. Applications. Application ID? I think is the name of the client ID. I think that's what I want. I don't know. I think that's correct. And now I can close that. And I can close this. And if I show VS Code again, did it log me out on this browser page? No, it did not. Cool. Okay, so now I'm going to go to my function to register all the commands here. And what I can do is const commands equals appconfig dot slash commands dot this should be a list, I think. Results to an array of any. Dot find. Why is it being like this? You know what this is. You know this is an array of. You know that this returns a array of slash commands. Why is it being like this? I could just guess what, or make this guess what it's supposed to be doing. Oh, wait, duh. App can, because never mind. Config. Like such. And then I do map a yields a dot JSON. No, a is not of type any. Why is it like this? Okay. I believe this will work. I hope this will work. So let's do console.log nets JSON.stringify nets. And now I think I can do, if I show my terminal again, I think I can just do node slash command register. Error, cannot find modules, timers, promises. Huh? What? That's not expected, but it did run my command. Let's Google this. Huh? And node, what is it? Node V? Node version? Why? Why is it that? My node version should be 16, and it needs to be 16 for this to work. And I definitely had it on 16 before, because I had this working earlier for interactions, which do not work under an earlier node version. So what went wrong? Let's look at my package file. I'll hide terminal. Clearly it shows that Node is supposed to be version 16. That sucks. How do I manually force this to upgrade? Oh, I bet I know why. I know what I should do here. It does work. I just gotta think smarter. I gotta have it run as within the context of this Node app. Register local. And this will do node. That's how this works, because I'm managing node as a dependency of the npm app itself, so that each app can have its own node install. This is a bad idea generally, because it adds quite a lot of bloat to the footprint, but I'm the one paying for the server, so I don't give a shit. Node slash command register JS. Okay. So now if I do, back to showing my terminal, npm register local, npm run, sorry, run register local. Slash command is not a constructor. There we go. Okay. That's not true. It is a constructor, but we'll humor it. So it's complaining on line first slash command 1212. It is a constructor though. Why would it think it's not a constructor? It's right here. Slash command. So it takes an interaction. There's a constructor. Oh, let me hide my terminal. This is very clearly a constructor. But then we go to here and it says it's not a constructor. I don't know what to do with that information. Does this not resolve to a path? No, it does. Oh, that's what it is. There we go. And now it will know. I was exporting the thing with the wrong name. There we go. That explains a lot, actually. Alright. Echo. Missing access. Missing access. I'm not sure what access I should be having. Let's find out. Let me Google this again. But hey, it's progress. Ah! There's something I need to change for my... Bon just laughed. I don't know if it's in reference to me making a funny noise just now. Okay, unrelated. Cool. Discord. I'll find out what it is later, because I've just been sent a tweet. That's exciting. Discord. Developer portal. I'm not showing you any of this because it is secret. I apologize. I need to give my bot the command wait, hold on, where is it? Oh, application.commands. Now, I'm not sure if that is sufficient on its own, or if I have to re-invite the bot. I hope I don't have to re-invite the bot. That would make no sense. Oh, I guess I do have to re-add the bot. That's fucking weird. Okay. Let me try again. Successfully loaded applications. With slash commands, we've done it, gang. Kind of. I'm gonna make this smaller now. Because I'm gonna actually need to look at Discord here. But not that small. So now... let me show VS Code one more time to kind of show what we've just done to how that relates to what I'm about to show in Discord. So we've registered a new slash application, and I just copied its API whole cloth from the oh, actually, hold on, let me fix this. Let me do, this should be first. And it wants to echo, and it doesn't actually do that. But it says it will. Okay, so let me rerun that. Run register local. Cool. So now we've got a command called first. I run it, and it wants an optional parameter named input. Cool, that's good to know. That would be something I could, I guess, get out of the interaction here. So we will now go to Discord, IDS code, and because I've run that, I can do slash first. There we go. It's pretty small, but there you go. It's a command matching this. It says it replies with your input. Cool. That's great. I do that, and now it prompts me for an input, which is awesome. Hello, world. And now it's going to time out because I've not specified any way for this to respond. Also, my bot isn't running. So that's probably not great either, which is why it didn't respond. But let's try again. npm run start. Hello world. it's still going to time out because we didn't specify it to do anything. In fact, we get a fatal error. That rules. Cannot read property to lowercase if undefined. That tracks. Okay. So now let's go back to, let's close all this stuff. Close all. This is in our events here. There is no property custom ID. Let me show VS Code and hide terminal. No property called custom ID of this. I'm assuming it's interaction.name. So let's do where is button first referenced? We can do this. If it's a button, interaction, custom ID, like so. Otherwise, I'm pretty sure it wants name, like so. We can remove this. Remove this. And in my first slash command here, I need to have it resolve at some point, but I'm not going to do that yet. So we're just going to do console log first. Or actually, I can do first, and I can have it also do console.log interaction.option. Oh, here's where it gets fun. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to do this. Input. I love treating JavaScript objects like a map and using strings to match their fields. It's truly the best. Okay, so now we're going to reboot the bot. Hop over to Discord. Oh, what happened here? Hop over to Discord. Run my slash command again. First, hello world. Let me show my terminal. Get another fatal error. Awesome. Didn't like that. Cannot read property to lowercase if undefined. Show VS Code. That is on line 118, which corresponds to what? In events 118. All right, interaction.name is not, in fact, what I should be looking for here. Okay, hide VS Code. Let's go to command handling. They definitely have an example on how to do this. Command name, of course. Of course. Or actually, I don't need to show VS Code for that. Run start. Go over here again. We will try again. First, hello world. Cannot read property input of undefined. But it properly handled this as a catchable error. So I'm not sure how I'm supposed to get the inputs back out. It didn't like that part. Yeah, so option, I guess, was empty for some reason. I'm not sure how I'm meant to get that. But it understood that. Oh, I'm also hiding my terminal. It got the command. It processed the command. It got to the part where we printed out first. So it got into the command, which rules. Progress, yay. If it's a secret... Oh, I haven't been looking at chat for a long time. If it's a secret, there's no reason for an apology. What's that in reference to? When I was saying I had to hide my client ID or something? I don't think anything else is a secret. This is all open source, so like there's no secrets here. Interaction option. Options? How get Oh, I know why. I know why. There's no... Yeah, I mean, you're right. I'm just being overly courteous. It's boring streaming. Also, I should have done it ahead of time. Is really what I'm apologizing for. Because, like, I could have very easily fetched that piece of information ahead of the stream had I known I needed it. I know what the problem here is. So there's a super type interaction, which is the parent class of the button interaction, which has very few possible fields, and the command interaction, which I am led to believe is also a class, which has more things. A button interaction cannot have options. So I think this was getting confused because it was overly restricting. Here we go. Command name, command ID, command. Options. Dot. Get. Input. There we go. Yeah, so it was overly restricting the amount of fields that were allowed to show here because it was just looking at like what all possible interactions can have. And since buttons couldn't have options, it wasn't showing me this as part of the Intellisense. That's fine. Intellisense being when the text editor that you're using knows stuff and suggests stuff intelligently, for those who are not familiar with that phrase. So when it suggests the next thing I type, that is Intellisense. Okay, I've run this again. I too have trouble over apologizing, right? It's just human nature. The world we live in has made us so afraid of everybody else and so beholden. I don't think it's too bad though. Like, being polite is always good. But I think we've all been conditioned to think everybody's judging us very harshly. So, hello world. Yo! Okay, so it's input value is what we're looking for here. And it has the type and the parameter name. That rules. The interaction still failed because I never resolve it. The last missing piece of this is that you need to... I have an example of it for my buttons, for example. Button. Message component interact. Oh, let me keep forgetting to switch back and forth. So buttons have a message component interaction, which is, you know, another type of interaction. They have a button callback. They're very similar to how these commands are going to work. But they're a little bit different. They've got less things that they can work with. But in my button, where the fuck are my buttons? Pushing my buttons. Buttons. Adjust button. An important thing that I had to do here is... Yeah, okay. So interaction.update. It wants to do something, basically, right? So there's a bunch of different commands you can act upon to finish your function here. So we do like interaction.reply. There's no API in Discord, as far as I know, for like a do nothing. I think there should be, but there doesn't seem to be. And so if nothing, there's no response from your function from your bot after receiving a command for 3 seconds, it will time out and say that the interaction failed. So it's, you know, decoupled that way. In this case, though, we're just going to reply with interaction.options.get input, and as we learned, .value. So now I will once again kill the bot, run the bot again. I will... what am I trying to do here? I will hide Discord, or hide show Discord, hide VS Code, show terminal. I will now run the command one more time. First, one more time. And it should respond with one more time. There we go. It's done it. I have implemented slash commands for a command that doesn't exist that is extremely simple, and it only took me 1 hour and 12 minutes. Awesome. So yeah, it gets a response back from the server, and it responds accordingly, and so therefore the interaction doesn't fail. I initially thought this was a really ass-backwards way of doing things when I had the button set up, because I was thinking, oh, I define a button. As soon as I define the button, I should also define what it does, right? That just makes sense. In any kind of normal application, I would agree. Even for a simple, like a web page, I would agree with myself in that a button should define what it does as soon as it's made. But consider the following use case. You have a server that has the bot in it, and it generates a button, because it has an embed with it in it that has a button. Say that the button is a button that makes a new channel for you to talk to an admin or something, right? Like, you need a help ticket. And so it posts that message in October. Now it posts that message in, let's look further back in time, in May of this year. May of 2021, this bot was added to the server. It posts a message that has a button that says, please make a support ticket. Now, we're in October. The bot has been upgraded behind the scenes, but that message hasn't gone anywhere. That button was still made back in May. So we need to have a way that decouples the actual creation of the button from the function it's running on the back end. Because say they want to do something totally different with what that button does. They've improved how it works. They've made it more efficient. They've needed to update the library. Now, when the bot relaunches, all it's doing is listening for this button has been pressed. But that button doesn't know what it was supposed to do at the time of creation. And so that way you have a kind of asynchronous or decoupled approach to how the button works. And it's the same for these slash commands. You register the commands up front, way ahead of time, and then what the bot actually has you do with them is completely different and separate from when they were registered. So you can have all of the definitions and things up front, and then what they actually do can be iterated on as often as you see fit, and users will never be any the wiser. That's a really bad way of explaining things. I should think about how that works and write up a postmortem for this, but I'm pretty happy with this so far. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. What I'm not happy with is, with the way I had commands previously, we had aliases here, which was nice. I don't know of a good way. Oh, so yeah, we had aliases, which should correspond to the name. I don't think this can be a list. It seems like it's just one. So for example, the timestamp command is like /timestamp, but also like /t should work, I think. But I don't know how to have it do that without having multiple... Like, I can't just do set name again. Can I? What happens if I do this? I wonder. Let's save that. And we kill the bot. And we run. Register local again. Okay, based on the output of this function, it only takes the most recently set name. So I don't think I can give a command multiple names easily. I would have to make multiple commands that all have the same parameters, which is annoying and I don't like. So that's one problem that I immediately see here, is I don't know how I'd handle that. The other one is you specify all of the parameters here, and then you have to kind of manually search for them. Like you do your options get, and then you just have to know what they're named. There's nothing that enforces that this guy input is represented down here. That might be unavoidable. That might be fine. Mostly it's the aliases thing that I don't like. What happens if I give it an array? Or is there a set names? No, it doesn't exist. What else can I set, actually? Set... No, it's just name and description. Oh, and speaking of description, that's the other thing I don't really like, is I have, as part of my previous definition for commands, a like high-level description as a constructor here. I would ideally want that to automatically be this and the description to be the same thing, because that's the purpose of it. So, I don't know. I don't know. Much to think about. I ordinarily go to like 11 on these things, but I think I'm actually kind of happy with this, and I think I'm going to ramble more if I go longer. So I might just call it here. I might commit what I have, even though this does not actually replicate any of the useful logic of my app. It does demonstrate that I know what I'm doing, and I kind of can see a path forward here on getting this connected. So I'm good, and I can do some actual useful work on my own time, I think. So I think I'm gonna call it. Let me see who I can raid though, because that's the most important part. Thanks for it, Tom. Yeah, no problem. I try and do these mostly every Saturday right before the meme review, because that's usually when I'm the most focused and also have the freest time. Why did I say most focused? That's an abject lie. I'm not the most focused at 9 PM on a Saturday, but it is when I have free time, and it's like almost a guarantee that I won't have anything better to do. So I try and do these every Saturday I won't be doing it next Saturday because I will be away from my desk. Oh man, user Dick Force Delta says, dude, I just got here. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Dick Force Delta. I guess I can keep going if I've suddenly got a wider audience that needs entertaining. Who would I be if, as an entertainer, if not to keep streaming? What's going on here? What am I trying to do? Sorry, my thing popped up. Give me motivation for researching and doing programming on my own. I'm glad to hear it. Yeah. As I said before, like, the best way to learn programming is to identify a problem that you want to solve, and to figure out how you can use code to leverage, or how you can leverage code to solve that problem. I do not think just sitting down and being like, I want to learn Java, is going to yield fruit. I think you will find it boring and impractical, and the best way to learn, as with anything, is to just get your hands dirty and get to it. Yeah. I suppose I can keep going, actually, for a little bit longer. But first, let me commit what I have. Let me show terminal. User Dickforce Delta, what are you up to? Tell me all about yourself. You're on the spot here. You've made yourself known. You can go ahead and get off. I'm just trying to watch someone while I do homework. What kind of homework is it? Also, please, user Dickforce Delta, don't tell me to get off. I appreciate it. But, think about phrasing. What's the homework on, though? I'm curious. If it's also programming homework. I'm assuming it is, because that would tell me, or inform me how you found the stream. Systems programming. Awesome. I've done my fair share of that. Git status. Git add all. Git commit babies first / command. Git push. You'll note that when I do a push, it runs all of my unit tests, because otherwise I could very easily push non-working JavaScript to production. This would be less of an issue if it was compiled language, but most of my unit tests are just to verify you don't like system programming. I didn't say that. I'm doing system programming right now. Everything's a system. Unless you mean like you're doing like COBOL or something, and then I have no opinion about that. I love system programming. I'm an engineer, like that is what I do. Oop, I forgot to save this. Shit. I have to commit push again. Anyway, yeah, so most of my unit tests are just to verify that I can actually execute my code, rather than the code does what it should, though there are also unit tests for that as well. But that's why I have so many unit tests, because JavaScript is an untyped language, uncompiled. I need to verify that it actually runs as an enterprise application before I commit it to production. So unit tests are very important here. I would actually have fewer unit tests if this was TypeScript. For example, Lunabot, the inspiration for this one that my friend Tam works on, is very, very light in the way of unit tests because it's compiled. So they have very high confidence that their code will run because it is compiled, and the compiler will catch most errors. What did I change here? I think... Dickforce Delta joins the Skeleton crew. Thank you very much, user Dickforce Delta. Your voluntary conscription into the Skeleton War will not go unappreciated. Because remember, if it doesn't say rest in peace on your tombstone, you're drafted, buddy. Thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. As I was saying right when you got here, I try and do programming streams at least once a week, mostly Saturdays. They're typically for this Discord bot because it's my ongoing programming project. I might have something else planned going forward. I have to talk to a few more people to see if that pans out. And then I also do like other variety streaming. I'm not much of a gamer, but I have a PS2 hooked up to my capture card. I like to do retro games, air quotes retro, off of that, and the occasional collab. So that's what you can expect from me. I might be doing a stream tomorrow evening that is not programming. It's October, so I wanted to stream something scary, at least scary to me. So you can check out my Twitter at Fomtaro, F-O-M-T-A-R-R-O, in the bottom left corner there, and I'll be posting if I plan on streaming that day. It would probably be around 7 or 8 p.m. EST is my guess, and I'd just be going for the rest of the night. But no promises. I gotta see what my schedule is like tomorrow. I'm a very, very, very lax VTuber. I do not commit to schedules very easily, because it should be fun and not work. Commit M. What did I change here? Actually, command, reply, push. Ooh. Fun, fun, fun. My unit test work and I was able to push. Let me check TV if there's anyone I can raid that is currently around. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna call the stream here. I really, again, appreciate the follows, both Foodabus and Dick Force Delta. You guys are both new today, so thank you for stopping by. I will be doing this again on, not next Saturday, but sometime the following week. I'm gonna be out most of next week. So that's something to look forward to. As for now, though, I'm going to send you guys over to my friend .level, who is streaming, quote, retro. I don't know what game they are currently streaming, but please give them a warm skeletal welcome. Just a little thing. Yes. What's up? You are a cool dude. You a cool dude. Yes, I know. I'm aware. What's up, Foodabus? Just a little thing. Am I pronouncing your name wrong? I'm sorry. I bet it's that, right? I'm all ears. Well, actually, I'm no ears. I don't have any ears, but I will listen. You can call me Fuba. Okay, I will do that. Thank you, Fuba, and user Dick. I'm gonna keep saying Dick Force Delta because it's funny to me. User Dick Force Delta and Fuba. Thank you for the follows today. I strongly appreciate it. We're gonna go over to .level. I don't know what retro game they are streaming, but please give them your skeletal welcome. I mean, am I saying it right? I don't know. It might be hard to pronounce Foodabus, or I might be saying... Oh, I have been saying it wrong. I've been saying Fudabas. It's Fubadas. I've been saying the syllables in the wrong order. That's so embarrassing. I'm sorry. You deserve better than that. See, here I'm going to apologize for real. It's not a fake apology. Or a needless apology. I've been pronouncing your name wrong all night. Fubadas. Yes, there we go. Fuba. Thank you for pointing that out. I will commit it to memory. Level. Let's go. It's a normal problem with this nickname. Well, I will commit it to memory. Y'all have a nice evening. Bonasera. And see you maybe tomorrow.